This is the Homecoming with the Downing Brothers podcast, where we talk about real estate, business, and financial literacy. They live by the motto, dream, plan, execute. Your host, Anthony and Anton Downing.
Welcome to Homecoming with the Downing Brothers. This is Anthony.
This is Anton.
And man, we got a special edition today in the COVID era. We're going to go in a whole different direction with our real estate journey. Who we got today? Who is this brother?
We have O'Neal Wholesaling Parker.
Hey. O'Neal Parker, man. He even has his own shirt, man. He's up here like product placement.
Absolutely.
So, man, hey, O'Neal, tell the people. I mean, this is Homecoming, man. Tell the people where you're from, who you are, where you're from.
Well, my name is O'Neal Parker. I'm from Lafayette, Louisiana. Mm-hmm. I'm 27 years old, and I started investing in real estate when I was 23. My first real estate transaction when I was 21. I built my first house when I was 21, and then I started, wanted to earn extra money, trying to figure out, I needed some more money. And then I started Googling, YouTube, and then real estate kept coming up. And then, you see a lot of videos. You can flip houses with no cash, no credit. Of course, I thought it was a scam because, you need a lot. I always thought you need a lot of money.
Right.
To buy a house. So, started really digging deep into those videos. Stayed up all night till like 4 in the morning, watching a bunch of different people about wholesaling. And then I just got started. So I started my wholesaling business with $63. With that $63, I bought 50 blank banner signs from Amazon in a fat, Sharpie marker white. We buy houses on it. And then I got to work. So 3 weeks after doing that, made $2,000, and then 4 months after that, made $50,000. And then fifth month, bought my first rental from my own wholesaling business. So with that wholesale deal, it was day 29. Nobody wanted the deal. I was stressing out. So I asked the homeowner, would you be interested in taking 80% of that purchase price cash, and then owner financing me $11,000.
Okay.
And she said yes.
Wow. Okay.
She didn't say yes easily. So when I asked her, she said she had to go pray, and she's gonna call me back.
I know you were sweating bullets. You were praying yourself like.
Yeah. Because I was still fresh. I was only 4 months in, so
right.
I just threw it out there. I didn't.
Why did she trust you?
Really because building rapport. So building rapport is getting comfortable with that person. So. When you go on seller appointments, the main thing is to get comfortable, get them comfortable to let their guards down, because you don't want somebody to keep their guards up because they could think, you trying to get over them. Right. A lot of people think everything's a scam. Everybody trying to get over them. So you get comfortable with them, y'all relate on certain topics. They let their guards down, and then you can close the deal and get the price that you're looking for.
Right. Building rapport, man. Building relationships before
everything.
You build houses. That's one of the things that we talk about. Like, it's one of our sayings that you build relationships before you build houses,
right,
or businesses, or brands, or anything. You got to build those relationships.
You need those relationships for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like crazy.
You were like, I got into wholesaling and I just started watching YouTube.
Yeah.
So I mean, so all these people that's like, I don't know what to do, or I need somebody to help me, and all this kind of like, you can help yourself.
Yeah.
'Cause that's what it sounds like you did.
Yeah, it's all about being a self-starter and taking action. You take a little bit of information, you get started. A lot of people get stuck on trying to know everything of what they're trying to do, and if you're trying to do that, you're never gonna start because you think you gotta know everything.
Right.
Who did you listen to on YouTube?
The first person I watched was 𝐿_𝐸𝐷𝐸, a guy from like Canada or something. And then he had a book that was free. I got it. That was the first book I ever read from cover to cover. So whenever it came in, I read it. And then after that, when I read Reach Dad Poor Dad, and then just kept reading. The reason I never read before is because I was never interested. Just like school.
Right.
That doesn't interest me, so I'm not going to read it. I'll try.
But this one here was like, I can make money and change my life, change my condition.
Yeah, he went from broke, living in a truck, to being a millionaire. So if that's what I want to be like, why not follow the things he's telling me instead of the teacher? The teacher, broke. No offense to teachers, but they teaching me things that they don't even do themselves, like accountant. You're not even an accountant, so how can you teach me how to be an accountant?
Right.
Or teach me anything about accounting?
I mean,
that's how I look at it.
Right. And the education is out there for you. So the thing is, you have to ask yourself, what are you passionate about? What do you want to do to change your situation? And then go by any means necessary to find the books, the podcasts, the events, programs, places you can go to meet people who are doing what you want to do. I mean, we say this all the time. But you're like a living example of that, man. And that's why we had to have you on here.
I feel passion is all too key. Like, undergrad, I just was just rolling through undergrad. At that, I was all about the frat house and all that. Doing women, whatever, everything but what I was supposed to be there for.
Right.
But when I went into my grad program and got my master's degree, had so much to do with firefighting and what I cared about. I did so much better in that, and I think that's exactly what you're saying. You were more passionate about it because you were learning about something you actually cared about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I guess they say success breeds more success. So, you were successful, and then like what happened after that? So you got that deal, which you basically backed down into. Like you kind of like was forced and pressured because you were running out of time to be able to find another buyer, and you became the buyer essentially.
Right. So it's either two choices on that deal. It's either I take it myself or just lose the deal. So I decided to take it on using owner finance, which I learned from somebody else, and mastermind and networking, which I got from going to groups like RIA, Real Estate Investment Group.
Right.
So basically, I paid $10 to go that month. I learned that, and then the $10 was worth it.
And you applied it.
I applied it, and that's the main thing, because people hear information all the time, but they never apply it. So,
right. A lot of people are scared.
Yeah, information is pointless if you're not going to use it.
Right.
So a lot of people say knowledge is power, but that's not true. Applied knowledge is power.
Applied knowledge, man. Hey, did you hear that?
Right.
Did you hear that? I mean, that was
information every day.
Yeah.
Instagram,
Right.
Facebook, YouTube. You know, it just going one ear after the other.
Right.
But to answer your question, after that, that was my last wholesale deal until January of 2020. So after that,
Wait, the years go by?
Yeah, reason being because my main focus is to get into real estate, to own real estate, not be a wholesaler. So
I hear that.
In my first 13 months of being in real estate, I purchased $1.3 million worth of real estate, which is equal to 13 units and no money out my pocket for each deal.
That's incredible, man.
Nice.
That is
very nice.
Somebody is listening to this podcast, or maybe you're listening to this and you know somebody who needs to hear that. So please forward this to someone who needs to hear that, because it is possible. There's so many different ways to get into this game. Some people, you know, you got good credit and you got money. The traditional route, you just go out and buy a property. But then once you get, and even after you buy that first property, then it's like, oh, how do I get to my second property?
Right.
So many different ways to do this. This is an option for you.
They got a lot of ways.
There's a lot of ways.
And for people out there, you know, that don't have the money out of credit, there's ways to buy real estate without using either.
Yeah.
Be creative.
Be creative.
And that's what I did.
Yeah.
I had the money in the real estate, but why use it if I don't have to?
Right. So, oh, you know what? You know what? When I'm thinking about what you said earlier, you kind of just grazed right over it. Did you buy your first property at 21?
I built my first house.
You built a house, new construction.
I got with a developer, yeah. So what happened was I got a job.
Okay.
I was living with my parents and I went straight to my own house. So I got a job was an hour away from my parents' house, and I don't like driving. So I was living in Lafayette and my job was in Baton Rouge, which is like 45 minutes away. So I was like, I don't like driving, so I guess I need a house. And I never looked for an apartment because I never wanted to pay somebody else because I'm getting them rich instead of myself. So I was riding around and then found a neighborhood, and it had just a slab poured. So called the developer and said, hey, you know, is anybody on this house or what y'all doing with it? It was for sale, and I bought it and then started picking out the different
How
things.
did you buy it though?
FHA.
So 3.5% down. And they had a loan that you could use for new construction.
Right. Yeah.
And you learned about this how?
Just doing it.
You were 21, so who told you that there was a loan you can go get 3.5% down to build a new construction?
You gotta ask questions and look up what you're trying to do.
So,
because my parents didn't want me to do it, I didn't even tell them until a week before closing.
Oh man, you real bold.
Hey, actually, you sound like me, because that's the same way I was. I mean, I bought my first place when I was 25. And I didn't tell anybody. I just decided what I wanted to do, and I didn't want anybody to tell me I couldn't do it or I shouldn't do it. So I educated myself, and I went out and did what I wanted to do.
That's what I do now to this day. I don't.
I'm still the same. I'm still the same way too.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: what's the reason why? Because you didn't want nobody to tell you it's not a good idea or you shouldn't do it?
No, man. Our mother was like, "You're not a real man unless you own the floor that you standing on."
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I don't know if he really answered the question by saying that, but I think it was one of those things where it's like, yo, I want to make my own decisions. You know, I didn't want, you know, my mother or my father to I didn't want to do what they wanted me to do. I wanted to do what I wanted to do. I wanted to live where I wanted to live. You know, how parents are concerned for your safety. Where, I chose an up and coming neighborhood. I didn't go to a great neighborhood. I was like, I'm a Braveheart. Like I'm a trailblazer. I'm gonna go somewhere where it's under market value, and I'm not scared. I can live there and watch the neighborhood continue to grow. But if I would have left it to my parents, they probably would have been like, "No, I don't want you to live over there."
Hey, I heard a Nas reference right there. You're a Braveheart. And let me tell you, he needed to have a Braveheart because that first deal did not go very well.
Okay, so
the recession came.
So I mean, if anything, my mom might have been,
She might have been a little right.
Yeah, she might have been a little right, but it wasn't because of where I was at. It was, and no one could have predicted the recession, so it was easy for her to be able to say, "So I told you shouldn't have moved over there." But it ended up being the greatest thing that happened. So for me to be able to make my own decision and make my own mistakes,
yes,
and then for me to be resilient enough to do exactly what you did, brother. Like what you did. I went on YouTube and Google and tried to find alternate routes to be able to find financing to get another deal and maintain my credit and keep my money together and be able to make it out of this and not just be another statistic of the whole 2008 meltdown. I needed to make that mistake. Otherwise, you never find out about the Downer Brothers. You never see us on TV if I didn't, listen to myself, make my own real estate decisions, live with it, and then come out on the other end of it.
Right. And you need siblings to fail so that you can not do what they did. Because
who are you talking about, man?
Oh, well, kind of like you. And that's the reason why I went directly into multi-unit buildings, because of what happened with his condo. And he came out on top in a big way by being able to get a FHA 2 or 3K renovation loan to renovate that first
building.
Yeah, that first Greystone 3,000 square foot house, and after that I was like, oh man, he made it out. He made it out on the other side of this.
So was it a sibling making a mistake? Huh? Was it really?
It was turning a failure into a success, and it didn't happen overnight.
That sounds a lot better. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anyway, back to you, O'Neal. What was your decision making process at 21? What were you thinking?
So the reason I never told my parents or told anybody, because when you're trying something new, the parents, they try to protect what you want to do because they don't want to see you fail. So just because they birth you, they think they know you. They think they know what you can do. But you as your person, you know what you're capable of. So that's why I didn't tell them. Because if something is new to somebody, they find all the reasons why you shouldn't do it.
Yes,
instead of why you should do it. So that's why when I do stuff, I don't tell people. I just do it.
Right.
Because then when I did tell them, they was like, first, you know how black women are. When you tell your mom, they telling everybody. So within, let's just say 2-3 hours after me telling them, I had my aunt calling me, my grandma calling me, everybody telling me don't do it. Reason being because nobody was ever in that position to do it at the age I did. So
right.
They didn't want me to fail. So after talking to my girlfriend, uncle, she was like, if you feel you can do it, just do it. And then after that, I was like, I just did it.
Yeah.
Because that was getting me discouraged, when I told them, because everybody was like, nah, you shouldn't do it, don't do it. The people that you love, that's supposed to support you, they wouldn't support me. So I felt like, damn, I shouldn't do it. And then talked to her uncle, and then after that, I was like, I'm going to just do it. And then that was the best decision I ever did, because here I am now.
Right.
And I had a child at that point, too. I had my first kid at 20.
Right. And so you were trying to really make some moves.
Yeah.
Now, look, I don't want this to go over anybody's head, what just happened here. You actually created history for your family, for children and grandchildren who have not even been born yet. They will look back at this time and say that my daddy or my granddaddy or my uncle or whoever you are to them at 21 years old built a house. Right? And then they'll be turning 21 and be able to lean on that history, because now before you there was all that fear because no one had ever done it as young or had never built a house or whatever it is.
It's a big legacy moment.
Bro, you created a legacy. You did something so important for your family, and we need people across the country, if you're listening to this, you need to be just like O'Neal. You need to be the one in your family that creates that kind of legacy.
Appreciate that.
And this is all before wholesaling.
Yeah, I didn't know nothing about wholesaling.
You built a house.
And then you went into wholesaling, which is a whole nother journey.
My dream when I was 13, 14, how the teachers in school asked you what you want to be? I wanted to be a real estate agent, but I didn't know nothing a real estate agent did. I thought they owned properties, but they really didn't. Because I grew up, my parents own the only black person in downtown Lafayette, Louisiana, to own a building downtown. And my dad had his barbershop there. So I grew up downtown looking at big buildings, apartment buildings, bank buildings. So I knew I wanted to own that because somebody making money off all the people that's in there. So I always knew what I wanted to do. But I thought it was a real estate agent, but it was really a real estate investor.
Right.
So
Yeah. And the thing is, we haven't even talked about what's next. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I guess, you know, I want to ask people. I always want to ask people, like, what. And maybe this is something that you're doing right now or that's coming up. What's your dream plan execute moment? What are you dreaming of right now or recently? And what's your plan for that and, you know, and your execution of it?
So for me, I want to have the choice to retire in my 30s. So once I hit 30, I want to have the option to be done. So I'm trying to buy as many units as possible, make sure the cash flow where I want it to be. So let's just say $50,000 a month. $50,000 a month, I can do whatever I want. So that's my goal, to buy as many units as I want. And also flip properties to pay off that debt, because I don't want to be, you know, holding on that debt if I don't need to. Because then if you have all that debt, then you're still working for the bank.
Right.
So the goal is to buy as many units as 30, and then from 30 to 40, pay them all off.
Okay. So how are you going to do that, though? Are you going to do it through doing wholesaling to raise capital so that you can then buy more units? Is that like the plan, wholesale, and then buy more units?
Exactly. So it's really... I'm wholesale. I started another wholesaling business in January. Reason being, so I can get access to the best deals, because wholesalers are usually the source of every deal if you're using wholesalers. So I started the wholesaling business so I can get the best deals, so I can buy more rentals and I can also buy more flips. So if it have, you know, let's just say $50,000 equity after everything's done, why not flip that house, take the $50,000 and pay out my smallest mortgage? So now I'm cash flowing more every month than I was before.
Right.
So that's the goal. Buy 2-3 rentals,
Right.
wholesale, and also do flips to pay off all the debt.
All right.
It's a little system.
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
And you got to create your system. You got
That's
to
it.
figure out what your system is going to be, and it's going to be different for everybody.
Yeah. So in my 40s, I want to be everything paid off.
All right.
Be chilling. I'm gonna come chill with y'all.
All right.
Hey,
you always welcome, man.
Because you know
For real.
we on the same plan. But my thing is, you gonna make it to 30. You gonna be debt free. You're going to be cash flowing and feeling, you know, financially free and independent.
Yeah,
but you know you still got a lot more life to live. So then, I'm going to, you know, now that I know all of this about you, I'm going to be hitting your line like, hey, man, do you want to get in on this development that we're working on? Like, do you want to?
I'm going to still be doing more things, but I'm not going to be hustling as hard as I am now.
Because you kind of sounded like you were going to be somewhere where we couldn't reach you on some bills.
Like, yo, in 3 years when I make 30,
like, dude,
I'm going to retire.
This dude does never answer his phone because he's in another country on the beach somewhere.
I will be doing that. You know what I'm saying? But I always got to work. You know, entrepreneurs love the next thing. So
right.
It's never going to stop. It's always the next business.
Right. And it's always collaboration over the competition.
Yeah. I can't just stop. I don't think I'm ever going to stop because I enjoy working.
Right. And actually, like, the people that you want to collaborate with are, like, the people that are doing the same things that you're doing. Like, it's not competition. When I see somebody who is doing something I want to do, or they're doing the same thing that I'm doing, I automatically look at them as a future partner or a future investor. Like, I don't look at them and say, "Oh man,
you looking for?"
I hope they fail.
At them as an opportunity to collaborate.
Exactly.
Collaboration over competition.
Tell me what I don't know, and I'm gonna tell you what I don't know.
Right.
I mean, tell you what I do know.
Yeah.
And that's how you
Did we do the definition of the day?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you did do the definition today, man. Wholesaling. We've been talking about wholesaling.
Oh, shoot, man. I want to do another definition, man. Shoot, I want to talk about collaboration now.
All right. All right. So, you know what?
You might need to do it.
Man, we do need to get into the definition of the day.
All right.
Let's get into Anton's definition of the day.
Let's hear it.
The definition of the day is wholesaling. Real estate wholesaling is a short-term business strategy investors use to make big profits. Contrary to what you may think, real estate wholesaling has nothing to do with retail wholesaling. In retail wholesaling, the wholesaler sells a large quantity of goods to a retailer who repackages and sells it to consumers at a much higher price. The goal in real estate wholesaling is to sell the home to an interested party before the contract with the original homeowner closes. This means no money exchanges hands between the wholesaler and the seller, not at least until a buyer is found by the wholesaler. So how does the wholesaler make money? He makes a profit by finding a buyer willing to purchase their home at a higher price than the amount agreed upon by the buyer. The difference in price paid for by the buyer is the profit retained by the wholesaler.
That's a good definition.
All right, so that was pretty thorough. So I mean, we've been talking about it. Like you got this process where you start out by, I guess, creating the marketing, right? So that's with the bandit signs and doing anything that you can to let people know that you buy houses, and so that they come to you, think of you, or they see it and they call you. And then after that, that's when we got into I forgot what was after that. You got to explain it again. So you, I'm sorry. Go ahead and explain it. What happens after that?
So after they contact you, so once they contacted you, you build a rapport, trying to figure out what the problem or what the issue is going on in their life. So once you figure out that issue, you want to comfort them, saying, maybe I can help you out your situation. So basically, you build a rapport to let their guards down, because nobody wants to do business or do a transaction with somebody they don't trust.
Right.
So it's all about like, know, and trust, and that's the goal that you're trying to achieve when you're talking to them. So, you don't want to go to a seller appointment. As soon as you get in there and be like, damn, that's a big hole in the wall. Of course, they see it every day. You don't want to highlight that. You want to take a picture of it, but you want to document it, but that's not the goal of the meeting or you visiting their property. The goal is to connect with them so they like, know, and trust you. And then once you do that, you take your pictures, take all your information, go back to the house, run your comps, see how much that property is actually worth after it's fixed up. So if that property, let's just say, worth $100,000, you need to get it at $50,000. If it needs $10,000 with work, then you at $60,000, and you can make your wholesale fee of $5,000. Y'all in at $65,000, so the investor still can make money, and then they sell it at $100 and make some money. So it's all about
everybody gets a win.
There you go. So win-win situation: win for the seller, win for the buyer, win for the investor,
right,
and the wholesaler.
All right. Yeah, and that's when you're doing it with integrity.
Yeah, they got them sharks out there that just don't do it the right way, but you got to think about everybody, because it's a long-term game. It's just about relationships, what you said earlier. So you got a good relationship with the seller, they're gonna refer you to other people. You got a good relationship with the buyer. Of course, they might not refer you to other people because you're a wholesaler, but they're gonna keep buying deals from you, and maybe in the future that buyer can become your private lender.
Right.
So you always got to think about the long-term of relationships, not just a dollar.
Exactly.
Because the long term will bring you more money than the short term.
Man, you got to build those relationships before you build houses, brands, systems, teams, whatever.
Yeah, it's about long term thinking instead of just the dollar.
Right. All right. Well, and really, you started this off by saying, like, man, you can educate yourself to do this, but then there's so much information out there. Right. There's really no excuse. I mean, you can find it. You're a Google or a YouTube video away from learning the process, and not just from one source. You can listen to a whole bunch of different, so that you can find out the best practices and then figure out what works best for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, to see you implement it and do it at such a young age. I mean, to build a house at 21,
right? Then
to get into wholesaling, get your capital up, and then buy investment property, and then now be in a position to like go any number of ways. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the freedom comes, man, because you can leverage all of that.
Exactly. We need people to hear this from you, being that you're still in your 20s. Sometimes people will look at like us that now that we're like 38 years old, or some of our other guests that have come on there in their 40s or 50s, and say, oh, well, I have time. When I get older, I'll get to it, or I'll learn it later. Or they only can do that because they made it to a certain point in their lives already. No, we don't need any of those type of excuses. It doesn't matter how old you are. It can be done right now.
You need to be done now.
A sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Dude, I wake up with a sense of urgency. If y'all ever meet me, y'all understand. I got a sense of urgency. I need it now.
Big time.
I'm the same way.
What? What?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I couldn't imagine just sitting around with all this information out here and all these different sources and resources out here and just sit there and do nothing, man. I can't
It's a lack of financial literacy. A lot of people are not really interested in it. Everybody want to be a millionaire, but don't want to put in the work.
Right.
It's just like people that buy courses. There's a reason why it's only 2 to 3% that actually finish it.
Right.
Because they notice all the work that it takes to reach that point.
They give up.
Like, nah, it
ain't for me.
Because they thought it was easy.
Yeah. Man,
that's what it is.
All right, so this is Homecoming with the Downer Brothers. So I want to know, when you hear the term homecoming, what does that mean to you?
All right, so I am from Louisiana. So that means it's food, fun, family, just having a good time, and good music, of course. That's what homecoming mean to me.
Yeah.
And also reflecting back on the old times that you had, in high school, college, when you really had the homecoming.
Yeah. Yes, I mean a lot of people are missing out on homecomings right now in a variety of ways.
So there's a lot of people that can't even get back to their hometown because of COVID. They're gonna wait it out.
Yeah.
So that homecoming will be epic when they get back to wherever they from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any like charitable organizations or causes that you care about that you want people to know about?
You put me on the spot. I can't think of them now.
Can't think of it now.
They have a lot though. I did a charitable thing for the hurricane that happened in Lake Charles.
Okay.
So we gave back what do you call it, like goodie bags, toothbrush, toothpaste, diapers, things like that. But I can't think of none right now. Sorry about that.
Yeah. But the thing is, we want to highlight these charitable organizations.
They have a lot though,
and we just want to encourage people. Support them. Yeah. I mean, the holidays are coming, and who knows when you actually get a chance to listen to this.
Y'all
podcast
keep getting hit with hurricanes in Louisiana, man.
We
had 2 back to back.
There's so much going on in this country and this world, and if you're in a position to be able to give back either time or money, then please do that. We highlight these charitable organizations because we want people to support each other. Everybody needs somebody at some point in their lives. So please support these organizations. So. I don't know, man. In review, this dude here built houses
at 21,
wholesale,
23,
rental properties.
A little bit.
Tell me, where do you see yourself a year from now? Like, what are you doing in 2021?
So, of course, I have a few businesses. So we just started a roofing company.
You got a roofing company?
Just started.
Well, with hurricanes coming through and roofs getting ripped off, I imagine that might be a good business to get into.
Where did this roofing company come from? Why did you?
Because the hurricane just happened. I got 5 roofs.
I knew it. I knew that's what it was gonna be.
Your own roofs or other people's roofs?
5 of my rentals needed a new roof. So
wow, 5.
I figured out that
Jesus,
the people that we're dealing with, they're only charging a certain amount. But so let's just say I can get a roof done for $175 a square. That's materials and labor. They're charging $300 a square right now.
What?
So why not get into it?
Because they backing people in
So when you realize
you need a roof, so
when you're going to
pay
that type of money, you said there was a financial incentive. Like, I need to get in this game too.
Exactly. It's another thing you got to think about. It's a need-based business. Everybody need a roof. And so next year we're gonna try to scale that. And then the year after that, it's gonna be an AC company. It's all need-based. Nobody's going to live in a house in Louisiana and not have AC.
Facts.
So that's my goal for the next year to 10 years is start need-based businesses. So I started a credit repair business as well, too, last week.
Last week?
He's a serial entrepreneur over here.
I always had a dream of doing credit repair because that's a need-based business and, people in our community have poor credit.
Right.
But I never had the time because I had a full-time job, have kids, have wholesaling business, have rehabs going on. I didn't have time for that. So now I have more time, so I started that last week. We launched it last week. And then we launched a roofing company this week.
Right.
So we got like 12 jobs already. So we're already backed up. And we never even told nobody. This is like the first public
12 houses.
Wow.
Y'all going to be on the roof.
Oh, and you got partners.
Yeah.
Right. So you definitely believe in partnerships and collaboration over competition.
Why not?
All right. So, I mean, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, you left something out. I'm gonna remind you of something you told me that you about to start a podcast.
I did start a podcast.
Tell the people about the podcast. Plug it, man.
It's called Real Shit Real Estate Podcast with Byron Sellers from Chicago.
That's right. That's the homie right
there.
We
know Byron.
Mobile home elite, baby.
We got 2
chilling at his crib like a few days ago.
So we got Byron in Houston. Byron the investor. So it's 3 different perspectives. Byron is in Houston is 40. Byron in Chicago is 35, and I'm 27. So you got 3 different perspectives. We all do 3 different things. So we're talking about real stuff that happened in real estate, not false things, and not just highlighting the good parts of real estate. So we could be talking about everything.
All right. Well, we definitely will be listening. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, man.
If
we got y'all to
come on, we coming, bro.
We got y'all to
let us know. We
down in Houston right now with you. We'll make that trip.
We are definitely pulling up. So, all right, man. We appreciate you coming in. Hey, let everybody know where they can find you.
Okay. So on Instagram, O'Neal J. Parker. Twitter, O'Neal J. Parker. On Facebook, O'Neal Parker, ONEIL. YouTube, O'Neal Parker. And then that's it. Website, O'NealParker.com. No J.
I sense a theme here.
O'Neal Parker.
You need credit repair. Credit Repair is boaenterprise.com.
All right, dope. So they know where to find you, man. All right, man. Appreciate you. That concludes this episode. But you know what? I want you to stick around because I got something to say on Anthony's After Set. Thank you for sticking around for Anthony's After Set. What I want to talk about today is collaboration over competition. Now, many of us that are in the same field with others become envious or feel like that we're competing or that they don't want, maybe they don't even want someone to do as well as they are doing. And we believe that that is totally the wrong attitude to have. No matter what business you're in, whether it's real estate or some type of restaurant or salon or whatever it is that you do, the people who are doing the same things that you're doing, they are your greatest resources. Develop relationships with them. They can be future partners, future investors, or future mentors. You have to collaborate, not compete. Remember that on your journey. Collaboration over competition. Thank you for tuning in to Homecoming with the Downer Brothers. See you on the next episode. Hey, do you think people know the process to buying a real estate property?
I don't know, but if they do want to find out, they can check out our book.
That's what I'm thinking, because if they don't know what real estate professionals they need to use, or if they don't know the process, or even the language, couldn't they find it in the book?
I mean, we have all that and more. Every type of person that you need to be in contact with to do real estate investing is in this book.
That's right. So please go to Amazon and purchase our book. You can get it in a physical form or you can get it on Kindle. Check it out now.